Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Tasmanians are finding it difficult to break into the property market, with house prices continuing to soar. Some real estate agents say they've never seen the market quite like it is now, leaving those unable to buy turning to charities for emergency help.
Finding your dream home is a tough search. Losing it to a higher bidder, even tougher to swallow.
It's just disheartening. Like 2 weeks ago when my partner and we imagined our family moving down to Richmond in this house that we looked at, and missed out, and it was just, it's gut-wrenching. It's really hard to deal with, and especially when you get your mind so set on something like that.
Alex Rossiter and his partner have been looking to buy a home for the last 6 months, but have been outbid, even with an unconditional offer.
Every single time you look at them, they're going for way more than what they're asking for to begin with.
Real estate agents are seeing record numbers of potential buyers at inspections.
There is no doubt that there is a huge demand for property at the moment, unprecedented demand. I've been in real estate 9 years and I have never seen the market quite so strong before.
The real estate industry body says a lack of supply is driving up house prices, with many buyers hesitant to sell.
People are very concerned that if they put their property on the market today, will there in fact be another home for them to purchase? So the fear of not having a roof over our head is a great fear and a real fear.
House prices have jumped more than 18% in regional Tasmania over the last year, according to CoreLogic data. In Hobart, property prices have risen 16.5% to nearly $575,000. That's an increase of $90,000 in a year, well above the average income in the region.
Hobart median sale price increasing by another 3.2% in the last 30 days. It's just beyond remarkable.
For first home buyers, the challenge of breaking into the market is no easy feat. With interest rates to stay low for the next few years, demand is set to remain high. A lack of rental properties has seen rents soar too, crippling Tasmanians, with many of the state's most vulnerable turning to charities for help.
We noticed towards the end of last year, and it's continued into the first 6 months of this year, that we had a sharp increase in people coming to family services for emergency relief.
The state's housing issues a challenge City Mission says there's no quick fix for. Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
There are urgent calls for more staff at Tasmania's public hospitals as the government kicks off a recruitment drive to aid the crippled health system. But Labor claims it's all talk and no action, saying patients are suffering and dying while waiting on the growing elective surgery list.
Tasmania's new health minister left to pick up the pieces of a broken system, starting by urgently trying to recruit 180 new health staff from Tasmania and beyond for hospitals statewide in a bid to support a $156 million elective surgery blitz.
20,000 elective surgeries and 2,300 endoscopies. We need to attract and retain staff to support that investment,
including 40 staff for the new trauma and acute surgical unit at the Royal Hobart Hospital, aiming to be established next month.
19 surgical beds and 5 general medical beds to also assist in terms of the demand pressures that we're experiencing, particularly in our emergency department.
Those pressures escalating as the elective surgery waitlist tips to more than 12,000. The average overdue days to wait, 212, with just 56% of patients admitted within the recommended time.
We have patients suffering in the community. We have patients dying, waiting on a waiting list for necessary surgery. It's time for this health system here in Tasmania to be supported.
A staff recruitment task force made up of leading health stakeholders also to be set up on June 16. But Labor says after 7 years in power, the government simply needs to get on with the job.
What we've seen is more talk but no action. And today, with the announcement of yet another task force, it's very clear that this government has completely run out of ideas.
That is critical, listening to people on the ground, including our nurses, our doctors, our University of Tasmania, TASTAFE and other key stakeholders to ensure that we can have a statewide perspective.
That's while thousands of Tasmanians wait for treatment on a list that never seems to end. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
The full makeup of Tasmania's Parliament will finally be revealed, with counting well underway to determine the last Braddon seat. The recount was triggered just days after the state election results were finalised, with Adam Brooks resigning amid escalating controversy. Counting to find his replacement continues this evening, with former MP Felix Ellis expected to take his spot.
Felix missed out. Felix is a fantastic contributor to our team. I wish him well on the recount, but also others that put the hand up as well, of course.
Parliament is due to return later this month following the 5-week election campaign. Discarded coals from a wood fire have caused a blaze at Campania this morning. Emergency crews were called to the Enfield Lane home around 10:30 following reports of an outbuilding catching alight. Upon arrival, the blaze had spread to nearby trees and the house, damaging one room and the ceiling space. The fire service has urged residents to take care when disposing of waste from wood heaters, ensuring coals are completely cold, dampened down and left away from buildings. Longford's JBS abattoir could be back up and running as early as tomorrow. The company released an update today saying it had made significant progress in resolving a cyber attack which crippled plants around the world. JBS says it expects the vast majority of its plants to be operational tomorrow, with some in the United States and Canada returning today. Nearly 300 workers in Longford were stood down when systems shut down yesterday. Tasmanian Public Health has declared more areas high risk, including regions of New South Wales. That list includes locations in Goulburn and Jervis Bay. Anyone who's visited the hotspots must now self-isolate immediately.
We will be sending an SMS or text message to travellers that have entered from particular areas to monitor the exposure list, make sure that they haven't been at one of those locations. If they have, to ring the Public Health Hotline.
Anyone travelling to Tasmania from impacted locations will not be permitted to enter unless approved as an essential traveller. Borders will remain shut to Greater Melbourne for an extra 7 days. A decision on regional Victoria is expected tomorrow. And despite Melbourne's cluster continuing to grow, Dark Mofo has announced tickets for this year's festival will go on sale tomorrow. It follows several delays to the release, with organisers watching escalating COVID cases in Victoria. Ticket buyers can now enter a waiting room from 11:30 a.m. to then join a random queue at midday. Ballots for free shows at the Odeon and Altar will also open. The 7-day festival begins on June 16 with COVID-safe plans in place for each individual event. Launceston's historic Colonial Hotel could be in for a modern twist. A development application has been lodged with the council to build a new 38-room extension, adding to the hotel's existing 70 rooms. Originally built as a Launceston Church Grammar School in the 1840s, the Colonial Hotel site and its main building is State Heritage listed. Tas Networks has launched its Reconciliation Action Plan after 12 months of consultation with the Aboriginal community. Partnering with the Aboriginal Elders Council of Tasmania, it's hoped the plan will build connections.
We see it as another support mechanism for getting the Aboriginal story out about our culture and our community.
It means awareness, I think, and awareness of, we recognise that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island culture are the oldest cultures on earth, and we need to have a complete understanding of that.
The launch comes as part of National Reconciliation Week, with many Tas Networks employees undertaking awareness training. In an effort to boost the number of women in leadership roles, the Mentor Walks program is preparing to kick off in Tasmania. The initiative pairs up women in similar fields for a 1-hour walk and talk session. The aim, to help more females aspire to aim high in their careers.
Pairing up with a mentor to get some sage, impartial advice on your career and even on your personal life. So how you juggle your life and work.
I'm a firm believer you can't be what you can't see, so it is critical to have more women in senior leadership positions.
More than 300 mentors have taken part in the nationwide program over 5 years. The first walk in Tasmania will be held on June 18 in Hobart. Tasmanians who support and stand beside those who were served have been honoured in a special tribute on Hobart's Eastern Shore. Community members gathering for the unveiling of a plaque for partners of veterans at Anzac Park's War Memorial, acknowledging their service for their families during tough times.
The partners are the ones that pick up the pieces after conflict, and a lot deal with quite difficult circumstances.
It's the partners and the families that really support the veteran when he returns, and they come back with both physical and mental issues.
Similar plaques have also been installed in South Australia, New South Wales, Victoria and Western Australia.
Saturday night's surprise local derby between the Northwest Thunder and Hobart Chargers has an added twist. Cairns Taipans guard Tad Duffelmeyer will be on court for the Chargers, completing Anthony Stewart's player puzzle. After starting life as a Hobart Husky, Tad Duffelmeyer shot north, forcing his way onto the Cairns Taipans NBL list.
The three ball comes here from Duffelmeyer!
But only this morning he became Anthony Stewart's secret weapon to be unleashed in Ulverston.
The last couple of games in the NBL, 14, 15 points, rebounds extremely well, probably all the stuff that we need some help.
Like it has all season, the Thunder is backing in local talent over late signings.
It's a real challenge for them now to play against some guys that have played in the National League, and yeah, I look forward to seeing if they're up for the challenge.
Although Stewart says there will be more Kings of the Ring coming the league's way as soon as the NBL Finals wraps up.
They've obviously had a 50% pay cut in their season, so to earn some money over an 8-10 week period while keeping fit is a no-brainer, and you'll see a whole different league after the break.
With Victoria's lockdown pitting Tassie's teams against one another, the Chargers women's side will now face a Tornadoes outfit boosted by Kelsey Griffin's return.
It proved last week when we played Mount Gambier, not having that leadership of Keely or Kelsey kind of disrupted us for half a game.
The Chargers will be far better prepared after a shambolic 30-point loss in the first round.
We had players sort of coming in last minute to try and have enough to play, but there should be no need for extra motivation this week to play Launceston.
As for the rest of the season, all coaches say they have no idea what's next, as all of the league, bar Tasmania and Mount Gambier, remains off court. Uni has stunned Northwest grads to win 4-3 in the Hockey Premier League. In only the bottom place side's second win from 11 games, the decisive moment came from 15-year-old Oscar Sproul scoring his first goal in the competition. The women's game nearly produced a similar surprise, but Grace Calvert's late goal ensured the second-place grads would enjoy a 2-1 victory over the winless Uni. And also overnight, the Kookaburras have wrapped up their Trans-Tasman series with a huge 5-1 win. The Aussies scored 3 goals in the last 12 minutes to demoralise the Black Sticks, the last coming off a pinpoint pass from Tasmanian Josh Belts.
Space on this right-hand side. He's going to crash it in as a yes. Oh, how good was that?
It's been a long 15 months without playing, so to be able to come here and play some games against your country was really awesome.
The Kookaburras won all 4 matches in the series, a perfect lead into Tokyo, of course.
Good evening, everyone. 17 degrees in Hobart today, Launceston 16, 15 in Devonport and Burnie reaching 14. Around the state, St Helens, King Island and Friendly Beach is 17, Strawn and Flinders Island both 16, 15 in Low Head, Smithton a top of 14 and 11 in Lyowini. Isolated areas of clear sky can be seen across Tasmania today, however cloud did cover much of the state throughout the day. Further out, an area of cloud bearing thunderstorms lies over South Australia as well as parts of Queensland and New South Wales. A band of high cloud is moving over Western Australia while another extends over Tasmania. Tomorrow, a trough extends from a low over New South Wales to Northern Territory, while a cold front approaches Tasmania from the southwest. A high over Western Australia extends a ridge over a large part of the mainland. Northwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, reaching up to 25 knots in the south and offshore in the west, swells increasing to 4 metres in the west and south. Partly cloudy and 16 in Hobart tomorrow, 15 in a shower or 2 in Cygnet and New Norfolk. 16 in Launceston with showers developing, Devonport reaching 15, partly cloudy and 15 in Campbelltown. Showers in the west tomorrow with Burnie a top of 15, 14 degrees in Strawn, Smithton 16. and mostly sunny and 17 in St Helens and Fingal, and 17 in Swansea. Looking on to Friday, showers about the west, far south and central areas. Those showers continuing on Saturday, extending statewide in the afternoon. And on Sunday, showers about the north and west, possibly extending statewide. 21 in Perth tomorrow, showers in Adelaide, Canberra 14, 22 in Brisbane and mostly sunny, and 28 in Cairns. And currently Hobart mostly cloudy and 11 degrees, mostly cloudy and 10 in Launceston and 12 degrees in Devonport. And Kim, that's all the weather tonight.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. And that's all your news for now. Enjoy your evening. On behalf of all of us here at 7 Tas, good night.